Not yet. It's preparing according to my screen. Okay. Good evening and welcome everyone. We are live on Facebook. Welcome to the May Peace Prevail on Earth Unity Week, World Unity Week event. And here is Jennifer Kim to introduce us to Countdown to Peace Day. Jennifer?
Thank you, Fumi. Thank you so much. I'm really delighted to be here, and I know that many of you may have been on programming for the day. There's been so much going on in World Unity Week. We had a lot going on here in this room, but of course there are many other programs going. So I certainly appreciate you being here for this Countdown to Peace Day event. We've been doing Countdown to Peace Day events for many years at the Peace School. They've always been live, interactive events at our center. They've always combined the call to peace for all the countries with a lot of fun. We would have a beautiful buffet of international food, and it would be a time for us to get together and network and socialize. So last year we had to recreate what our Countdown to Peace Day was. And this year again, we've done a virtual event. So the plus side of that is that we can share it easily, right? So this is how we're able to re-experience the Countdown to Peace Day. So I think not too much introduction is needed. The 100-day countdown to the International Day of Peace started on the 13th, and we are going to pick up where we started at the Peace School with our countdown. So let me get this screen pulled up. 1 second.
Peace didn't stop, we did. So let's get the peace again. Peace didn't stop, we did. So let's live in peace again. Peace didn't stop, we did. So let's get the peace again. Peace didn't stop, we did. So let's live in peace again. Live in peace, express through peace, expand in peace, and share in peace.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here for the Countdown to Peace Day. I'm Jennifer Kim, Director of the Peace School, and I'm here with Master Charles Kim, the President of the organization. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Gutierrez has a message for the world as we observe the 100-day countdown to the International Day of Peace. He states, every year on 21 September, the United Nations invites people around the world to celebrate peace by observing 24 hours of ceasefire and nonviolence. As we strive to heal from the COVID-19 pandemic, and reimagine a better future for people and planet. This year's theme is Recovering Better for an Equitable and Sustainable World. Peace is the foundation of that recovery. The global vaccination effort cannot advance amidst armed conflict, nor can we build a sustainable, resilient, peaceful world while we are at war with nature. Recovery efforts offer an opportunity to transform our relationship with our planet and our environment. The world cannot go back to what it was. As we count down to the International Day of Peace, I call on people everywhere to be part of a transformation for peace by standing up against hatred and discrimination, by caring for the planet, and by showing the global solidarity that is so vital at this time. We thank the Secretary General for that message. So the UN's theme, as we just heard, is all about transformation and renewal. Why don't we take just a moment to take a breath of peace and renewal as we get started? We'll just breathe in, world, out. Now, let's explore the history of Peace Day here in Chicago. This is a story about a man of peace, about a day of peace, about a mission for peace that we all share. We begin in South Korea with a highly disciplined scholar, educator, and martial art grandmaster. His research and practice confirmed what he intuitively knew, that martial art is a practice of deep peace. In the early 1950s, his schools across Korea were unique, teaching meditation and yoga alongside rigorous martial art training. He sought for decades to come up with an easy way for people to connect with the energy of peace. One day it came to him, something so simple that anyone could do it. He called it peace breathing. Inhale world, exhale peace. In 1972, he left Korea, a country and culture that he loved, and moved with his family to the United States. He did so because of his grave concern for the future of the planet, deciding to work in a country where people of all cultures are found, in order to have the best chance for peace to someday spread globally. He founded the Peace School in Chicago, where he and his eldest son worked side by side. A few years later, Grandmaster Kim was inspired to create a day of peace. In 1978, he proposed this to Chicago's mayor, who agreed to proclaim September 7th Peace Day in Chicago. At Grandmaster Kim's request, the mayor's proclamation asked all Chicagoans to observe 1 minute of silence for world peace. He began asking governors and mayors across the country to follow Chicago's lead. The response was tremendous. In time, we received proclamations from governors in all 50 states and mayors in over 540 cities. After the United Nations created the International Day of Peace in 1981, we expanded Chicago's observance into Peace Days. Grandmaster Kim was so proud when the Peace School was named a UN Peace Messenger organization and was presented with a certificate at the United Nations. We celebrated Chicago's 30th anniversary of Peace Day in 2008. That's when we formed the Chicago Build the Peace Committee, teaming up with amazing partner organizations and providing Peace Day materials annually to every Chicago public school. Peace Day continues to grow with students, diplomats, community organizers, government officials, and everyday Chicagoans from all 77 community areas, all coming together not just to celebrate peace in our city, but to send peace out to every country of the world. Anchored by the Minute for Peace, Peace Day has been supported by every Chicago mayor since it was founded, and has continued to promote the positive side of peace building. Grandmaster Kim taught us that inner peace and world peace are interconnected. One cannot exist without the other, and that every human being shares the ability, responsibility, and mission to create a peaceful world. Peace Day is an opportunity for us to energize this mission and then to live it each and every day. As you can tell, Peace Day is intercultural. The Chicago Cultural Alliance builds many bridges across cultures, and we're delighted to welcome its Executive Director, Peter Vega. Welcome, Peter. Thank you so much for being here. Please go ahead.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. And a special thank you to the Peace School for this wonderful event. And to Jennifer and Lydia and Mr. Kim, thank you for having me here today. I'm Peter Vega, Executive Director of the Chicago Cultural Alliance. And so the Chicago Cultural Alliance is an organization of over 40 cultural heritage centers in the city of Chicago. We represent over 30 different cultures And we, as Jennifer said, Chicago is a mosaic of cultures. And I wanted to share a little bit about our city with you all and celebrate some of the neighborhoods and the cultures that the Chicago Cultural Alliance represents. On June 15th, we will be having our virtual event, Mosaic, which is a cultural, it's a fundraiser for us, but we like to celebrate all of the organizations that we work with throughout the city. So I wanted to give you a preview of our virtual event that'll be this coming Tuesday. And so I'm going to share my screen real quick. One second.
Up. I'm Jacoby Cochran with City Cast Chicago, and today I'm on the north side of the city looking at some of the members of the Chicago Cultural Alliance. I hope you join me for a fantastic set of tours, y'all. And whether you grew up in Rogers Park or Humboldt Park, if you want to get a slice of Korean culture or Lithuanian culture, you will find that across the city of Chicago. But depending on what block you're on or community you're in, you'll get a completely different Chicago. So I challenge you, regardless of where you grew up, where you call home, to step outside your neighborhood. Whether you go across town or up the street, I promise you, you'll learn something new, something different, another reason why we are the best place in the world, if you ask me. Over the last couple of days, I've learned more about this city than I ever had. Yeah, I grew up on the south side, but traveling to the west side, the north side, and even taking a dip in the lake on the east side has taught me that this city is a mosaic.
Excellent. So that just gives you a bit of a taste of the Chicago Cultural Alliance and some of the organizations that we represent. Our host is taking us on a journey through Chicago. Jacoby Cochran is the host of CityCast Chicago, a new podcast here in the city. And Jacoby is just interviewing and taking tours of different sites. It's a 1-hour program on Tuesday. It's free for anyone to join. You can visit chicagoculturalalliance.org/mosaic to register and get the link for the event on Tuesday. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here today. And it is a pleasure, as always, to be here. And thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Peter. We really hope, everyone here can check out Mosaic on Tuesday. And also keep an eye on Chicago Cultural Alliance website. They have so many programs themselves and among all the memberships. So do stay in touch with CCA. Now, we are absolutely thrilled to be welcoming the internationally acclaimed vocalist, composer, and storyteller, recording artist, and educator. Now, talk about, no borders. We love his belief that there's no such thing as an audience because performances are communal experiences. Let's experience that now. Welcome, Bruce Henry.
Good morning, everyone. I am really excited to be here with you today. What a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor. So, yes, wherever you are, I invite you to sing along. I'm going to do some original music for you, but you'll see there'll be some moments for audience participation. So, let's get going. I wrote this song for today. It's called Get Carried Away. Yes, you can clap your hands wherever you are. I dreamed I saw a land of peace, a place where everyone was free. The earth was healed and each and every heart fulfilled to live in love and harmony. It's time to make this dream reality. I'm willing to try, are you? Don't let the haters and the doubters and the cynics tell you, no, it can be done. Get carried away to a land of peace. Get carried away to a place where hatred cease. Get carried away, we'll flow as one in unity under the sun. To a land where all are free, yes. Oh, let's ride this unity. Sing with me. Just say peace, peace. Take a deep breath and go. Peace, everyone. Peace, yeah. Just breathe peace. Oh, peace. Peace. Oh, yeah. And as we continue on, you might get that call, because in this movement for peace, we need everyone to participate. So listen for your call, y'all. When the call comes, will you answer? Or will you turn and walk away like this is just another day? When the call comes, will you give your answer? I was lost in the wilderness, couldn't hear nobody pray. But when the call came, that's when I gave my answer. The secret voice came from the silence and echoed from the space deep within my heart. But that's when I gave my answer. When the call comes, will you answer? Or will you turn and walk away like this is just another day? When the call comes, will you be ready to answer? The simple message I will always remember is to walk a path with heart and let love rule. When the call came, that's when I gave my answer. You may enjoy all of life's pleasures, be buried up into your neck with all of the treasures. Will you be ready to answer? Can you hear this word flowing from somewhere up on high? But lay it down. Oh, but when the call comes, will you be ready to answer? When the call comes, I know I'm ready to answer. Oh, when the call comes, will you be ready to answer? I will be ready to answer. Thank you all very much.
Ruth Henry, everybody. Oh my gosh. But guess what? He's coming back later in the program. So please stick around. Bruce, that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal. You know, now it is time for all of us to answer the call. We're going to put our hearts and voices together in the call to peace for all across the planet. This is a call and response, so I'm calling out the names of the countries of the world, and everyone's answering peace in that country. You might even want to say it in your native language. Now, since it doesn't work so well on Zoom to open all these microphones, you'll be hearing Master Kim and my voice, and we have a few peacemakers here with us. But please do answer the call out loud if you can. Your voice, you can think of it blending with our voices and everyone who's here with us live. And as well, everyone who packs Daily Plaza when we have Peace Day, as you'll see in just a minute. Now, this ceremony includes the 193 countries that are recognized by the United Nations. At the end, we show the International Indigenous Unity Flag and then the Earth flag to represent Mother Earth herself, nature, and all the unnamed places. So our intention is to be inclusive, sending peace to all humanity, all nature, all living things. And if there's a place that you wish to send peace to, but it's not named in the ceremony, please hold it in your heart as we all honor the Earth flag. And we'll all be sending our energy of peace to that place. Let's do some peace breathing just for a moment to set the mood, and then we'll move into our call to peace. We'll breathe in together, world, and breathe out, peace. Breathe in, world. Breathe out, peace. Inhale, world. Exhale, peace. Thank you. Now, while I set up my screen here for our call to peace, we are going to be starting with the phrase, peace in the world. So I'll say it, and then we all say it together, and then we move through the call for the countries of the world. So ready to start?
Yes.
Okay. So we start. Make peace in the world.
Peace in the world.
Afghanistan.
Peace in Afghanistan.
Albania.
Peace in
Albania.
Syria.
Peace in Nigeria.
Andorra.
Peace in Andorra.
Angola.
Peace in Angola.
Antigua and Barbuda.
Peace in
Antigua and Barbuda. Argentina.
Peace in Argentina.
Armenia.
Peace in Armenia.
Australia.
Peace in Australia.
Austria.
Peace in Austria.
Azerbaijan.
Peace in Azerbaijan.
The Bahamas.
Peace in the Bahamas.
Bahrain.
Peace in
Bahrain. Bangladesh.
Peace in Bangladesh.
Barbados.
Peace in Barbados.
Belarus.
Peace in Belarus.
Belgium.
Peace in Belgium.
Belize.
Peace in Belize.
Benin.
Peace
in
in
Benin.
Bhutan.
Peace in
Bhutan.
Bhutan.
Bolivia.
Peace in Bolivia.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Peace
in
Bosnia
and Herzegovina.
Botswana.
Peace
In Botswana.
Brazil.
Peace
In
Brazil.
Brunei.
Peace in
Brunei.
Syria.
Peace in
Bulgaria.
Burkina Faso.
Peace in Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso.
Peace
In
in Burundi.
Burundi.
Cabo Verde.
Peace
in
Cabo Verde.
Cabo Verde.
Cambodia.
Peace
in Cambodia.
Cambodia. Cameroon.
Peace
In
Cameroon.
Cameroon.
Canada.
Peace
in
Canada.
Canada.
Central African Republic.
Peace
in Central African
African
Republic.
Republic.
Chad.
In Chad.
Chad.
Chile.
Peace in Chile.
Chile.
China.
Peace in China.
Colombia,
Peace in Colombia.
Comoros,
Peace in Comoros.
Democratic Republic of the Congo,
Peace in Democratic Republic
Democratic
of
Republic of the
Congo.
Congo.
Republic of Congo,
Peace in Republic of Congo.
Costa Rica,
Peace in Costa Rica.
Cote d'Ivoire,
Peace in Cote d'Ivoire.
Croatia,
Peace in Croatia.
Cuba,
Peace in Cuba.
Cyprus,
Peace in Cyprus.
Czech Republic,
Peace in Czech
And the Czech Republic.
Denmark,
Peace in
Peace in
Denmark.
Denmark.
Peace in Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Dominica,
Peace in Dominica.
Dominican Republic,
Peace in Dominican Republic.
peace in the world.
Peace in the world. Just breathing. Keep breathing if you can. Standing long. Yes. For all humanity, nature, and all living things. No.
You, Ecuador,
Peace in
In
Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Peace in Egypt.
El Salvador,
Peace in El
El
Salvador.
Salvador.
Equatorial Guinea,
Peace in Equatorial Guinea.
Eritrea,
Peace in Eritrea.
Estonia,
Peace in Estonia.
Eswatini,
Peace in Eswatini.
Ethiopia,
Peace in Ethiopia.
Fiji,
Peace in Fiji.
Finland,
Peace in Finland.
France,
Peace in France.
Gabon,
Peace in Gabon.
the Gambia,
Peace in the Gambia.
Georgia,
Peace in Georgia.
Germany,
Peace in Germany.
Ghana,
Peace in Ghana.
Greece,
Peace in Greece.
Grenada,
Peace in Grenada.
Guatemala,
Peace in Guatemala.
Guinea,
Peace in Guinea.
Guinea-Bissau,
Peace in Guinea-Bissau.
Guyana,
Peace in Guyana.
Haiti,
Peace in Haiti.
Haiti.
Honduras,
Peace in Honduras.
Hungary,
Peace in Hungary.
Iceland,
Peace in Iceland.
India,
Peace in India.
Indonesia,
Peace in Indonesia.
Iran,
Peace in Iran.
Iraq,
Peace in Iraq.
Ireland,
Peace in Ireland.
Israel,
Peace in Israel.
Italy,
Peace in Italy.
Jamaica,
Peace in Jamaica.
Japan,
Peace in Japan.
Jordan,
Peace in Jordan.
Kazakhstan,
Peace in Kazakhstan.
Kenya,
Peace in Kenya.
Kiribati,
Peace in gozaimasu.
North Korea,
Peace in North Korea.
South Korea,
Peace in South Korea.
Kuwait,
Peace in Kuwait.
Kyrgyzstan,
Peace in Kyrgyzstan.
Laos,
Peace in Laos.
Latvia,
Peace in Latvia.
Lebanon,
Peace in Lebanon.
Lesotho,
Peace in Lesotho.
Liberia,
Peace in Liberia.
Libya,
Peace in Libya.
Liechtenstein,
Peace in
Liechtenstein,
Liechtenstein.
peace in the world,
Peace in the world. Relax, sending harmony of peace to all humanity, nature, all living things, all around the world. Peace.
We'll continue. Lithuania,
Peace in Lithuania.
Luxembourg,
Peace in Luxembourg.
Madagascar,
Peace in Madagascar.
Malawi,
Peace in Malawi.
Malaysia,
Peace in Malaysia.
Maldives,
Peace in Maldives.
Mali,
Peace in Mali.
Malta,
Peace in Malta.
Marshall Islands,
Peace in Marshall Islands.
Mauritania,
Peace in Mauritania.
Mauritius,
Peace in Mauritius.
Mexico,
Peace in Mexico.
Micronesia,
Peace in Micronesia.
Moldova,
Peace in Moldova.
Monaco,
Peace in Monaco.
Mongolia,
Peace in Mongolia.
Montenegro,
Peace in Montenegro.
Morocco,
Peace in Morocco.
Mozambique,
Peace in Mozambique.
Myanmar,
Peace in Myanmar.
Namibia,
Peace in Namibia.
Nauru,
Peace in Nauru.
Nepal,
Peace in Nepal.
the Netherlands,
Peace in the Netherlands.
New Zealand,
Peace in New Zealand.
Nicaragua,
Peace in Nicaragua. Peace in Nigeria.
Nigeria,
Peace in Nigeria.
North Macedonia,
Peace in North Macedonia.
Norway,
Peace in Norway.
Oman,
Peace in Oman.
Pakistan,
Peace in Pakistan.
Palau,
Peace in Palau.
Panama,
Peace in Panama.
Papua New Guinea,
Peace in Papua New Guinea.
Paraguay,
Peace in Paraguay.
Peru,
Peace in Peru.
Philippines,
Peace in the Philippines.
Poland,
Peace in Poland.
Portugal,
Peace in Portugal.
Qatar,
Peace in Qatar.
Romania,
Peace in Peace in Rwanda.
St. Nevis,
Peace in St.
St.
Kitts
Kitts
and
and
Nevis.
Nevis, St. Lucia,
Peace in St.
St.
Lucia.
Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines,
Peace in
St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Samoa,
Peace in
Samoa,
Samoa.
San Marino,
Peace in San Marino.
Sao Tome and Principe,
Peace in Sao Tome and Principe.
peace in the world,
Peace in the world. Sending respect of peace to all humanity, nature, all living things, everything. Thank you.
and we'll continue. Saudi Arabia,
Peace in Saudi Arabia.
Senegal,
Peace in Senegal.
Serbia,
Peace in Serbia.
Seychelles,
Peace in Seychelles.
Sierra Leone,
Peace in Sierra Leone.
Singapore,
Peace in Singapore.
Slovakia,
Peace in Slovakia.
Slovenia,
Peace in Slovenia.
Solomon Islands,
Peace in Solomon Islands.
Somalia,
Peace in Somalia.
South Africa,
Peace in South Africa.
Spain,
Peace in Spain.
Sri Lanka,
Peace in Sri Lanka.
Sudan,
Peace in Sudan.
South Sudan,
Peace in South Sudan.
Suriname,
Peace in Suriname.
Sweden,
Peace in Sweden.
Switzerland,
Peace in Switzerland.
Syria,
Peace in Syria.
Tajikistan,
Peace in Tajikistan.
Tanzania,
Peace in Tanzania.
Thailand,
Peace in Thailand.
Timor-Leste,
Peace in Timor-Leste.
Togo,
Peace in Togo.
Tonga,
Peace in Tonga.
Trinidad and Tobago,
Peace in Trinidad and Tobago.
Tunisia,
Peace in Tunisia.
Turkey,
Peace in Turkey.
Turkmenistan,
Peace in Turkmenistan.
Tuvalu,
Peace in Tuvalu.
Uganda,
Peace in
Uganda,
Uganda.
Ukraine,
Peace in Ukraine.
United Arab Emirates,
Peace in United Arab Emirates.
United Kingdom,
Peace in the United Kingdom.
the United States of America,
Peace in the United States of America.
Uruguay,
Peace in
Uruguay,
Uruguay.
Uzbekistan,
Peace in Uzbekistan.
Vanuatu,
Peace in Vanuatu.
Venezuela,
Peace in
Venezuela, Vietnam,
Peace in Vietnam.
Yemen,
Peace in Yemen.
Zambia,
Peace in Zambia.
Zimbabwe,
Peace in
Zimbabwe, all indigenous nations,
Peace in all indigenous nations.
all other regions of the world,
Peace in all other regions of the world.
peace in the world,
Peace in the world. Sending gratitude of peace to all existence, human beings, nature, all living things, everything. Gratitude.
As we pause for 1 minute for world peace, let's listen to the beautiful song, A Mother's Heart, written and performed by William Conquering Bear Buffalo. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you, everyone. Master Kim, would you like to share some thoughts after our call to peace?
Oh, sure. Well, first, thank you for joining Call for Peace. Now, I feel good because we're sending beautiful energy of peace to all over the world, every country. Now, as you know, the nature try to stay together, stay as one. But we human beings, we disturb quite a bit of that. So as an example, let's say a tree, okay? So tree in the one side, tree in the far away, looks to be two separate entities. But let's look at it. If you go underneath, the roots are joining soil. Then soil will harmonize everything together. So even though it appears to be separate, they are all joining together. Likewise, all the natures are joining together in the continent, the continent. Now, the continents are divided by ocean, so we think it's a separate, but not really. Each continent, even small island continents, are all joining ultimately to Earth. So with the Earth energy, try to get everything together. Now I said the energy is important because without energy, you don't exist. I don't exist. Earth doesn't exist. Solar system doesn't exist. Even universe doesn't exist without energy. So energy is important. To me, it's the most important aspect. But are we using energy properly? So let's see. If you are, let's say, it's not a good example, but if you are upset, angry, depressed, how you feel? You feel tight and down. That means that your energy at that time is shrinking and dark, heavy. But when you're in the deep peace, You feel like, oh, wow, I can accomplish many things. I feel good. Why? Because a peaceful energy is a bright and positive, healthy. So then at the moment, you're surrounded by the beautiful energy, so energy is expanding. So we need that. So if you continuously think, well, take it back. If you think as much as you can peace, thinking, then your energy is expanding, then someone else thinking peace, their energy expanding, then eventually two energy miss each other, joining each other. Then instead of we against each other, we are joining each other, working together. That is important. That's what we need. So, like today, sending peace for each country, you're sending beautiful energy to peace of each country. Then what happened? So you are in peace, but at the same time, the energy went to the country, beautiful energy, it bounced back at you, the peace energy. So you are kind of enhancing, I call it double enhancing, yes. So enhancing, you have a good energy, you bounce back good energy. So the thinking peace is important, especially nowadays. And unfortunately, we are hurting nature, we're hurting each other, hurting races, many things are happening. It's not supposed to happening, it's happening. So what we do, we're thinking harmonize each other, love each other, thinking peace. So that's why inhale world, exhale peace. The big scale, not only you, peace for all others. The big scale peace help you building big energy. Then the energy expanding, and someone else's energy expanding, then world peace is very possible. It's up to us. Each one of us take some responsibility to build a peace. Now, peace does not appear to you, not like that. You have to obtain. We have to create. That's important. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Master Kim. Thank you so much. And you know, this call to peace that we just put forth, we could all feel that power, right? I'm sure everyone here felt how powerful that is. So a school activity that we suggest for Peace Day is for students to create their own call to peace. And that way it helps the big ceremony become more relatable for kids. One of our Peace Day committee members, Henry Cervantes, did this little project with some kindergarten and first graders at Holy Family School. So what you're about to see, it's not a professional video by any means, but I think this has to be our very first TikTok do-it-yourself call to peace. Let's take a look.
Peace to Chicago. Peace to Chicago. Peace to the world. Peace to the world. Peace to everybody in the world. Peace to my friends and family. Peace to my friends and family. Peace to me. All my peace to all the enemies. Peace to Peace
but
Really cute. They have to stop shaking. Now that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Earlier in the program during the flag ceremony, we saw how students at Peace Day carry the flags of the world with a lot of respect and dignity. And for many, it really is a life-changing experience. Let's listen now to one student's reflections.
Hi, my name is Andrea Koulis, and I'm the IB coordinator at Roberto Clemente Community Academy, located here in Chicago, Illinois. This is going to be my 4th year participating in Peace Day. One of my favorite learning experiences happened with my student, Reem Fakori.
Hi, everybody. My name is Reem Fakori, and I got the chance to participate in Peace Day my senior year of high school. I was given the chance to carry the Jordanian flag. And being someone who is half Jordanian, half Palestinian, this really gave me the opportunity to own my culture in a way I've never really been given. Being someone who is obviously a person of color, this made it easier for me to really feel truly represented. Being a person of color and growing up around people of color, I've always felt represented to a certain extent, but not to the extent that Peace Day finally allowed me to feel. I've never really been given or been shown a standing person who is Middle Eastern or who is Jordanian. And I finally felt the sense of I was that person for other Middle Eastern kids and also for myself.
Our thanks to Reem for that. That was really, one example of so many. Yes. So schools can find a lot of resources about Peace Day. There's, of course, the UN website for the International Day of Peace. They have a great page for that. There's internationaldayofpeace.org. We also have great suggestions available on our Build the Peace website. One of those suggested activities for Peace Day is called the Where I'm From Poetry Project. That's where students describe their communities using their senses, and then they create a collaborative poem. Earlier this year, we took it a step further by having students here in Chicago work in partnership with students in Mexico. So let's hear first from Enrique Alvarez. He leads the Poder after-school program at Ruiz Elementary School here in Chicago. Here's Enrique.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm not able to be here today, but I did want to share a little bit about the project that our students worked on in January and February, along with some of the Changing World instructors and we were able to collaborate with the students and create a poem. And we also created 2 videos, which the students were able to exchange in the Peace Day, which was an event that was organized with students from Mexico. So kids were able to engage using our technology to exchange their art pieces and also, experience something new that they would have never done, right? So they were really happy being able to do that aspect of it, right? Being able to talk with some of the Mexico students that they would have never met if it wasn't for this project. And overall, the project was just really insightful because the students were focused on peacemaking and also learning about themselves, where they are from. The whole project was making a poem of where you are from. So after describing Chicago and where they're from, they were able to make a self-portrait and also make a video doing movement that was reading out the poem. So it was a really fun activity to do via virtual world. So I'm really thankful, and I wish I was here present to share and answer any questions you might have. But please, if you have any questions, ask for my email, and I'm sure we can set up a meeting and talk about this awesome experience. And I hope you guys all have a great day and enjoy peacemaking.
Our thanks to Enrique Alvarez for joining us this way. Now, let's say hello to Professor Patricia Ann Talley, coming to us from Zihuatanejo, Guerrero, Mexico. Patricia is the one who connected us with those students in Mexico at Centro Familiar. So Patricia, can you tell us what that Where I'm From poem project meant to the students in Mexico and their families?
Muy buenos días a todos. Estamos en Zihuatanejo, Guerrero, Mexico. We are one of the most diverse states in Mexico. 20% of our population is indigenous, and we have the largest population of African Mexicans in the entire country. So we're a tourist community, and our kids have to learn English. English is required in their studies. The problem is having teachers to teach it to them. So for our kids, many of them where they lived were literally in the garbage dump. Okay. So initially I was concerned about showing kids that lived in Chicago and showing kids that many of them were very, very poor, but they rose to the call. They said, we get a chance to represent our destination. I'm so proud of them. So you know that Chicago has one of the largest concentrations of Latinos and African Americans in the entire country. And in fact, a large population of Mexican expats. Generally, we're called immigrants, but we're actually expats, okay? So the kids had a wonderful time. They were able to express themselves. They were so proud. They went home to their parents to tell them how they represented Zihuatanejo. And the result, I've been getting a whole lot of flowers. I get flowers. I come home, I have flowers on my wall. I have flowers coming up my walkway. I got flowers. I got so many gifts and flowers. So it touched their hearts. We want to invite everybody to join in with us on next Saturday, Juneteenth Day, which is Freedom Day in the Americas. It is the last day of enslavement for African descendants in all of the Americas. And in the words of my president, Vicente Guerrero, our state is named in his honor, somos todos americanos. We are all Americans. So again, we invite you. I'll send the information. Our kids are going to be the stars of the show. And we're going to raise funds to help supply emergency health needs and school supplies to the kids who are affected by the COVID virus. So again, muchas gracias de Zihuatanejo, Guerrero, y visit us soon.
Thank you, Patricia. We can't wait. We can't wait to come back. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. You know, one of the great things about that project was the way it helps students develop a strong sense of place. The Chicago Cultural Alliance is approaching that from a different angle through Sites of Unity. Let's hear more about it from CCA's Director of Cultural Programs, Andrew Leith. Joining Andrew is Robert Carr Jr. to tell us about Sky Landing, a site of unity that invites interactive participation. Thank you both so much for being here. Andrew, why don't you start us off?
Thank you so much, Jennifer. It really is an honor and a privilege and a delight to be here with all of you today. I was thrilled that our Executive Director, Peter Vega, was able to chat with everyone a bit earlier in the program. And as he mentioned, the Chicago Cultural Alliance is a consortium of over 40 cultural heritage centers throughout over 30 neighborhoods in the city and representing over 30 different cultures. So we are all over the city and the outlying suburbs in the region. And you know, the one thing that we are deeply proud of is that Chicago is a city of cultures and communities and neighborhoods. And each person from those cultures is contributing in the past and in the present their passion, perseverance, energy, and intelligence to make Chicago the dynamic and incredible city that it is today. And when our members are fortunate enough to get together in person to celebrate, one of the things that always comes up are folks sharing the special places in their neighborhoods that make their neighborhoods the amazing places they are, and that contribute to their spirit of community and to identity. And those places can include homes, community organizations, restaurants, businesses, places for recreation and entertainment, as well as places of worship and schools. So a wide range of places in our neighborhoods that are vitally important to community identity. And especially in the wake of COVID-19 and quarantine, when we've all been feeling isolated and alone, it really has helped. We've heard so many positive stories from our members in terms of remembering these places, telling stories, and sharing the aspects of their neighborhood and their community and the built environment of Chicago that is vitally important to their unity as a community, to their stories of immigration, and to their outreach to other communities within the city. So that was really the impetus that led us and our incredible members at the Alliance to put together the Sites of Unity project, with much thanks to Open House Chicago in the fall of 2020. We were thrilled to have 4 of our core members rise to the occasion to tell stories of sites that were vitally important to their stories of immigration, to their founding as communities in Chicago, and that continue to be vitally important, even if these are sites perhaps that the general public outside of their community are unaware of. So I want to shout out to a couple of the incredible members that shared stories related to Sites of Unity last year that led to the growing evolution of this project. Special thank you to Angelica Ospina, a graduate student from the School of the Art Institute, as well as to 4 of our core member friends representing the Ukrainian National Museum, the National Hellenic Museum, the Swedish American Museum, and the Bronzeville Historical Society. So this really led to some rich conversation both regarding sites of unity and significance within communities in Chicago, but also, and perhaps more interesting, sites of cross-cultural unity, sites that were gateways to learning about folks from other cultures and to learning about other communities in Chicago. So I'm going to very briefly highlight a couple of those sites, again, with total thanks and total recognition of our core members who represent those sites and who shared these last year, and of the growing and evolving project this year. So within the Ukrainian American community, St. Nicholas Ukrainian Catholic Church, the Parthenon Greek Restaurant in Greektown, Chicago. This is a streetscape from the early 20th century representing Swedish American business and the importance of local businesses and local streets and public transit in terms of gateway to learning about other cultures. And the Checkerboard Lounge as being a gateway to learning about African American musical traditions and really, really rich cross-cultural experiences here in Chicago. So with that said, we are incredibly excited to continue to build on that momentum this year with our friends at the Peace School. And we are going to be developing a website, which is going to live on the Chicago Cultural Alliance's platform, highlighting some of these sites and some of these stories, but we're going to be also continuing this on in our cross-cultural programming called Journey Chicago, which will take place the entire month of September this fall. So Sites of Unity will be one of the amazing cross-cultural projects and conversations that we'll be highlighting, and there'll be myriad other performances and collaborations to look forward to over the expanse of September through Journey Chicago. So we're very excited about that. Feel free to check out our website to learn more. And in thinking about Sites of Unity, I am really excited to have our friend Bob Carr here to share a little bit about a very important site of unity in Chicago. So thank you so much, everyone. And Bob, I'm delighted to pass the baton to you.
Andrew, thank you very much. My wife and I have collaborated with the Peace School for many years now, and a lot of synergies, and the work I'm about to introduce to everybody is something that the Peace School has embraced. And as I've heard everybody speak today, beginning with Bruce Henry and his beautiful performance, there's a theme here. And I think it's peace, and world peace begins within each of us. And that's what the message of this next presentation is also about. So let me just share my screen, and bear with me as I set this up for presentation. So hopefully everybody can see it. I'll put it in slideshow presentation. Everybody good? Andrew, thank you. So the Garden of the Phoenix is a site that maybe some of you have heard about or learned a little bit about this spring when we all experienced the beautiful cherry blossoms down in Jackson Park. A lot of talk about that. So this whole story begins at the 1893 World's Fair, when the city of Chicago rose from the ashes of the Great Fire and hosted a World's Fair, inviting nations from around the world to participate, but really for the first time to participate and have pavilions that represent their culture. And it was really been now recognized as one of the great times in our history where World's Fairs have brought people together from different cultures and so forth. But in fact, it's the first time it's such great mass. People in the world came together in one spot, and that spot is Jackson Park. And the picture that you see here is a building called the Phoenix Pavilion that was a gift from the people of Japan to the city of Chicago. The Phoenix Pavilion was one of many acts of participation by Japan in the World's Fair. They're actually, of all of the 40 plus nations that participated with pavilions, their investment to demonstrate only after 40 years of being open to the world in 1853, wanted to show the world that they had 1,000-year history, a culture, not just something new and exotic, but in fact, a very beautiful and long culture. So they participated in the modern manufacturers building, they participated in the women's building, and so on and so forth. But this Phoenix Pavilion, it was decided by Frederick Olmsted and Daniel Burnham that it would reside on the wooded island, the centerpiece of Jackson Park in the World's Fair. This is a big deal because Frederick Olmsted, landscape architect who did Central Park, who did the 1,000 acres of the South Park, which is Jackson Park, Washington Park, and the Midway Plaisance, and parks all around the nations, including Yosemite and the first national parks. He was a real advocate of kind humanity and nature. He wanted this island to be a sylvan, a retreat from the hustle and bustle of the World's Fair. But the harmony that this architecture and also the gift and the longevity that was committed by Japan in this piece, he agreed that it would be there. And the two buildings that would remain after the fair were the Charles Atwood building, the palace, a great fine arts palace, which is a fireproof building, which became the Museum of Science and Industry, and the Japanese Pavilion. In fact, the citizens of Chicago agreed in contract with Japan to maintain this site in perpetuity as a place to learn about Japan and experience Japanese culture. And many of the people that it influenced was young Frank Lloyd Wright, and have a whole other lecture on the journey of how it influenced him in the Prairie School and back to people who are working on this site today. But the story is this: the Phoenix Pavilion was cared for by the city of Chicago, and in fact was maintained as a place to learn about Japan and experience Japanese culture for many, many decades. In the 1930s, it was refurbished and renewed, and a full Japanese garden put there. And it was recognized at that time in 1935 when it opened as the best example of Japanese architecture and landscape outside of Japan. There was a demise, though, in 1946. It was lost to arson. Again, we could talk for hours about this story, but for many in Chicago, this is a news story and a chance to look back at a place and a time, much like what Andrew was talking about, a connection of cultures and commitments and so forth. This, in fact, Phoenix, after it was almost lost in history as well. We had a Japanese garden added by the Japanese American community and others. Actually, Mio Hayashi was also a leader in the peace movement in the 1970s and tied to nature and all the movements at that time, led to a major investment to restore the Japanese garden of the 1930s, which we have today. But as I just showed you in the last picture, all we had where the Phoenix Pavilion resided, no plaques, no stories. There were a lot of us, and I've been doing this for 30 years on this site, who told anyone who wanted to hear the stories. We would go there at a moment's notice. But what we decided in 2012, along with the Park District, was let's commemorate the 120th anniversary of this gift from Japan and the commitment by Chicago, because we have kept our promise to maintain this site and for people to learn not only about Japan and Japanese culture, but let's make it bigger and broader. Let's make it about what the World's Fair was about people coming together. And as I met the Peace School and Jennifer and Master Kim, my wife and I, and we started talking about it, this story evolved very quickly. We did plant over 120 cherry trees, which are now 10 to 15 feet tall. They're all blooming, 175 in fact, and they're going to grow more and more. So we have every spring this to look forward to, and this year it was quite marvelous. We also have Sky Landing. Sky Landing are 12 lotus petals that rise from the ashes of the Phoenix Pavilion, designed by Yoko Ono. I had the fortunate opportunity to write an article in 2013 that was published by the North American Japanese Garden Association and bilingually, and it ended up through some friends in Yoko Ono's hands. And she came to Chicago to see that site where the Phoenix Pavilion was, and she didn't leave. We collaborated until 2019 to work through 3 phases of this project. Sky Landing, her art, is where the sky and earth meet and create a seed to learn about the past and come together to create a future of peace and harmony with nature and each other. That's her mission. That's been her mission. That was John and her mission. Sky Landing brings Yoko's personal sense of hopefulness for humanity and the public at large. Her intention during its conception was to invite visitors to walk into the center of the lotus and look within oneself and realize that peace and harmony begins within each of us. So as you can imagine, as we saw last year, the tearing down of monuments, and we see them still, throughout the country and the world. These are things that you're actually drawn to see something that somebody wants you to understand. And history has been told by the winners, not the losers, right? But in fact, today we look at, there are no losers. Everybody's story is valid. So Sky Landing isn't something that you just look at. It's actually, as we've talked about, it's active participation and involves a viewer. And so with Sky Landing, you're invited to participate and become part of the work. You are what makes peace happen in Yoko's mind, and it begins within each of us. So what is this? We dedicated in 2016 after first doing a ground healing. Everybody who showed up, including the mayor in 2015 for the ground healing, to mend the site. And we have a mended petal. We have the 13th petal on permanent display at the Art Institute of Chicago, where the remnants of the Phoenix Pavilion are also on display. But these were dedicated in October 2016 by Yoko Ono herself. This is the north end of the 15-acre wooded island looking towards the Museum of Science and Industry. You can see the yin and yang forms, the ground on the north and the south of Sky Landing. It gives you a sense of the mass of the Phoenix Pavilion. It was actually a little bit larger than that. That would look over this Japanese garden. Today we're bringing this together with a final design, and before the Obama Center opens will be one of the best examples again of Japanese landscape and story, but it's the only place in the nation where we can tell the full story of US-Japan relations and the highs and lows of that relationship. You can go to see cherry blossoms, of course, in Washington. You can go and see, the Arizona and Pearl Harbor. That's another aspect of the story of this US-Japan relations, but nowhere in actually the world can you see and experience and understand this history, and it draws you in. So as you're drawn into it, as Master Kim was literally on Peace Day in 2019, he acted out what, not just acted out, but he and I went to the site very quietly on Peace Day, and Master Kim did peace breathing, so that the site became an actual place as it was intended for all of us to visit and to be introspective, to look within, to know that peace in the world has to begin within each of us. So this is a call to action. So now that we have this is standing within the Sky Landing, looking upwards. We also have something else going on. We have the very fortunate opportunity to tell this story to the world, because the world will come again to Jackson Park. President Obama has selected Jackson Park as the site of his presidential center, which is not a library, it's a center committed also to a mission of peace, to help inner city people with issues and so forth, to help the youth find a way to bring a better place, create a better place. So the proximity of the Garden of the Phoenix with this site for the center and the Museum of Science and Industry will bring over 2 million people a year to Jackson Park. Hundreds of thousands will make it to the Wooded Island. They will learn about the story of the Phoenix and the Garden of the Phoenix, and about people, and about even the same people that had a commitment to peace in 1893. US and Japan went to war. Many people died. Nothing was resolved. The only in that war, except that we resolved that we would never do it again. So it's these two countries' commitment and other countries' commitment, and then ultimately every individual's commitment to peace. That's the story we have now, all of us, to work with and bring people to this site of the 1893 World's Fair, where our forefathers and mothers and brothers and sisters all committed to come together as one. Let's really do it this time. So that design of the Obama Tower, but it's not really a tower, it's of a building. It's really all hands together, clasping as one. Very similar to the call to action that Yoko Ono has, that one really begins one with each of us, within each of us, and moving out. I'll end with this. Where was our inspiration? The Phoenix Pavilion was designed as based upon one of the oldest temples in Japan, called the Byodo-in, or Phoenix Hall, which houses the Amida Buddha. And that Buddha had a vow to remain here among us until humanity saved itself. And people would pray to that Amida Buddha. But what Yoko realized as this rises from the ashes, we have nothing to look to that will bring us peace except ourselves. So Amida Buddha sits within a lotus in that place in Kyoto. Here you have the opportunity to sit within that lotus of peace and harmony, and ground yourself for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob, for that incredible sharing, an incredible history and lesson of peace. I definitely am eager to get down to Jackson Park to check out Sky Landing. I so appreciate your time and sharing that.
Thank you.
I will happily pass the baton back to Jennifer.
Wow, thank you both. That was phenomenal. And I think everybody here, if you're ever in the Chicago area, if you're not from here, you'll make Sky Landing the top of your list of a place to visit, because it really is stunning, and it's all about looking inward. So thank you both so much. That was fantastic. This gives us a good time right now to kind of pause and reflect. And I think a beautiful way to do that is through the Golden Silent Minute. Now, we're very fortunate to have Dot Maver with us. She's the co-founder of the National Peace Academy, and she's here to lead us in the Global Silent Minute. Dot, over to you.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful story. And thank you, Jennifer and Master Kim, and all at the Peace School. Robert, that story in Jackson Park, Chicago, I love the call to action. And am so appreciating this event as so many groups and students are sharing so beautifully and powerfully. And Bruce, yes, we are answering the call. This story of Chicago makes my heart sing, and it's so very inspiring. Gratitude. You know, it's an auspicious day today as we honor Peace Day and the 100-day countdown to the International Day of Peace, September 21st. As simultaneously our world leaders are gathered at Carbis Bay, Cornwall in the UK to make decisions on behalf of the common good. And it is a great joy to offer this Global Silent Minute in honor of Peace Day, aligned with the tradition of Chicago taking a minute of silence for world peace. The Global Silent Minute takes its inspiration from the World War II Big Ben Silent Minute, and its spark was ignited on a battlefield where two soldiers were lying together near Jerusalem in World War I. One knew he would not survive the war, and he could see a greater war coming. He urged his comrade to provide an opportunity for him and for the millions on the other side of the veil to assist each day through silence, to put an end to war, to bring peace on earth. He said, "The power of silence is greater than you know." And he died on the battlefield the next day. Some 23 years later, during the bombing of London in World War II, his comrade Wellesley Tudor Pole launched the Big Ben Silent Minute. Each night at 9 p.m., Big Ben would sound its bells, and BBC Radio would go silent for 1 minute as millions around the world joined together in silent unity. After the war, a high-ranking German officer acknowledged the power of what he called the Allies' secret weapon, for which Germany had no defense. Today, we have an opportunity to use silence as action in sacred unity as we hold the shared intention for world peace. So let us take a deep breath as we imagine peace activated within our own hearts. And we link our hearts across distance around the globe. And now we take another moment and we invite all those on the other side of the veil to assist with our intention for world peace. We will now enter the silence together with the sound of the Tibetan singing bowl, our minute of peace. And at the close of the minute, you will hear the singing bowl sound again as we anchor our intention for global cooperation, peace, and freedom, for world peace. May peace prevail on earth.
Our deep thanks to you, Dot Maver. That was very beautiful. You brought us all together, as you said, across all distances. We really appreciate that. When we take time to pause like this, I think it often reminds us of the great harmony that exists all around us. Peace and nature surely go hand in hand. And as we move toward Peace Day, let's all try to build healing bridges with nature. We're going to hear more about this from our good friends, Karen Tyra, Creda Walls, and Fumi John Stewart. Karen, I'm going to start with you. How does your love and passion for the plant world, how does that relate to peace or Peace Day for you?
Thank you, Jennifer. I think that we've seen a very renewed interest in the outdoors in the last 16 months when that was the only place we could go for a while. And those of us who spend our lives outside, we're happy to see that actually, and I hope that that continues. And one of the most important things in my work with people and connecting with the natural world is to know that nature is everywhere, and your natural environment can be anywhere. And so you don't have to go to all the places you see. You can, and those are beautiful too, but you can also get some restorative feelings from nature that you have around you. And so when I was at Lurie Garden, it's in the middle of downtown, and it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place for people to come and have a little bit of restorative time and to focus on something that's a little bit bigger than each of us. And that's what's important about Peace Day. That's what's important about peace breathing. And that's what's important about spending time in the natural world. And here we have Jennifer, who is leading a meditation class in Lurie Garden. And it's not by any means quiet in the middle of downtown, and it's not something that people would think about, a place to go meditate in the middle of downtown, in the middle of Millennium Park. But all of these people and all of us that were in the workshop had such a wonderful time, and it really was very peaceful. And again, it does remind you to take time wherever you are to stop and appreciate the nature around you, and you'll be able to find some things that you may not have seen before, or you may not have noticed before. And I think that is so important to people, and I think that being in nature does give you that feeling of being part of something larger, just like Peace Day does. And the meditation class and the existence of all these beautiful natural places now in downtown Chicago help us to look for those little things that we otherwise might have missed when we are spending time outside. And so that's actually what's so important to me about it, is that nature is where you are, your natural experience is where you are, and the beauty and the wonder, and places like gardens. Gardens are hope. Gardens are a promise of things to come. And so that's what's important to me with the plants and my obsession with plants. And so I think that's what's been really great about the last few times that I've been out and have a lot of people out too. So yeah. And Cree, it was good to see you again and to see you carrying the Earth flag in our slideshow ceremony there. And so it was great to see you. And I've heard that you have personally done a lot of work for the environment and that you love animals, and even that you worked with Jane Goodall.
Oh, yes, that is true, Karen. And first of all, nice to meet you, Karen. Yeah, that's all true. Over my life, I've developed a love for working with animals and for the environment, and especially young people. And I do owe a big piece of that to my work with the Dr. Jane Goodall working with her Roots and Shoots program. That kind of exposure, working with doing the work that Jane has done, has definitely strengthened my connection to having to care for people, animals, and showing a lot of care for the environment. Through those connections that we all have with people, animals, and the environment, we not only learn about those things, but learning about those things help us to develop peace from within. You know, it brings us a sense of comfort. It definitely brings me a sense of comfort, knowing the importance of taking care of the environment and how valuable working with animals are. And now I'm currently working with the Forest Preserve of Cook County. Been with the Forest Preserve for about almost 8 years now. And even now I'm at a tabling event where we're providing different types of information to people, letting them know about the different resources that we have that can better help them develop their own connection to nature. So whether they decide to do some forest bathing, where they're really getting spiritually intimate with plants, or just doing bird watching, or just going for hikes, all of these things helps to develop that peace from within. And honestly, I can say for myself, working in this field with the Jane Goodall Institute, Garfield Park Conservatory, just being very close to nature gives a really big hug to that hurt child inside of me. You know, it really has developed peace from within for me. So that kid in me is really happy right now to this day and love working in this field. And I remember when I was working with the Jane Goodall Institute, we partnered with the Peace School and we celebrated the International Day of Peace in the South Shore community on the south side of Chicago near Rainbow Beach. And there was a community garden there where we planted a peace pole. And Fumi, first of all, nice to meet you as well. I know that you know a great deal about peace poles. And I know for me, that was the first time that I have ever learned about what a peace pole was. I'm wondering if you can share with everyone. I'm sorry, I'm sweating and it's dripping in my eyes. I'm wondering if you can share with us how you see peace poles are important to us connecting to nature. You're muted.
Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
You
we've
can.
got you.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Cree, for inviting me to share a little bit about peace poles. And I'm so glad you planted or had an experience planting a peace pole. And, you know, I was struck by Robert's presentation connecting us to Japan, because the peace pole has a very deep connection to Japan. When Masahisa Goi, who was a philosopher, visionary, a peacemaker, who incidentally knew Grandmaster Kim. So he authored the Universal Message and Prayer, May Peace Prevail on Earth, almost 70 years ago. And now that has become really the international message of peace embraced by millions of people around the world. And so here's a peace pole here. It has the message, May Peace Prevail on Earth. And the message comes in various different languages, you know, languages of the world. And they're planted by, you know, peacemaker, change makers, people like you and me, you know, who want to, this is really a call to action, isn't it? It's like placing a peace pole. And when you plant a peace pole, you plant it deep into the ground. So this is very connected to nature. There's so much connected. You plant it deep into the heart of Mother Earth with this message and prayer and invocation and universal wish, may peace prevail on earth. So I really feel that, you know, peace poles connect. It becomes a portal connecting us from heaven to earth. It becomes a portal where sky and earth meet, as Yoko mentioned in one of her quotes. So in that way, there's, you know, as Master Kim said, everything is energy, everything is vibration, and especially our words and thoughts that go out is a vibration that goes out and affects and influences not only humans, but the kingdom of plants, animals, and all creation. So we're influenced by each other through this beacon of light that is created between heaven and earth when we plant a peace pole, and all of the love of humanity that goes with planting a peace pole, wanting to heal the planet, wanting to heal nature, and becoming one with the environment. There's so many peace poles standing, and most of them stand out in nature, in gardens and in people's yards. And so, yes, I think peace pole speaks to nature just as it does. It speaks to our hearts, and it speaks to the heart of Mother Earth. So just so blessed to be able to share about peace pole with you, Cree, and to all of us here. And thank you so much for inviting me, Jennifer and Master Kim. Such a privilege to be with the Peace School family here with all of you. And now I pass the stage on back to Jennifer.
Thank you, Fumi. Thank you so much. Our thanks to Fumi John Stewart and Karen Tyra, Creedell Walls. We are running long today, but I think we all agree, how could we shorten anything we've done today? Because it's all been so fabulous. So thanks for staying with us. Thank you all for bringing that essence of nature to us, even though we're sitting here in a virtual setting. I tell you, Master Kim often says that peace includes the energy of love, harmony, respect, and gratitude. Now, the music of Bruce A. Henry is truly the language of peace in all of its aspects, and let's add joy to that list. We're so excited to welcome back Bruce Henry. Bruce.
All right. I have enjoyed the presentation and everyone so far. I love being here. Thanks again. So in my closing number, I'd like to do a song for you that I wrote. It's called Freedom Party. Ajoduna Joshe. There is call and response here. And even if you don't know it, there's a part where you can just go, whoa, you'll hear it, okay? Lift your voices, get up and dance, sit in your seat, whatever you feel like doing, but please participate. Let's go. Oh yeah, come on. Form the line, form the line. Form the line, form the line. Hey, it's a party, it's a freedom party. Raise your victory sign. It's a party, it's a celebration. The time for victory's now. We all here, we stand as one. As far as the eye can see, lift your voices up to the sky, rejoice in our victory. Oh, it's a party, it's a freedom party. Raise your victory sign. Yeah, it's a party, it's a celebration. The time for victory's now. Listen. Ajodana Joshe, Ajodana Joshe. Whoa, that's your part. Ajodana Joshe, Ajodana Joshe. Whoa, say it again now. Ajodana Joshe, Ajodana Joshe. Whoa, Ajodana Joshe, Ajodana Joshe. Whoa. Check it out. We claim this land in the name of love for generations and generations to come. We want no more hatred, no more fear, peace for everyone. Woo! It's a party, it's a celebration. The time for victory's now. Yeah, it's a party, it's a freedom party. Raise your sun. Take it on home, y'all. 就在那就谁，就在那就谁，哦，就在那就谁，就在那就谁，哦。Form the line, don't you know it's freedom time? Thank you all so much. It's a pleasure being with you. Peace and love to everyone. Thank you.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Everybody, Bruce Henry. Wow. You can ever catch him live. Don't miss that chance. Wow. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everyone, for being here for this Countdown to Peace Day. Let's make these next 100 days leading up to Peace Day full of transformation and renewal. That's what the Secretary General of the United Nations has said. Let's begin by looking at our own hearts and minds and filling them with peace, love, and harmony. We really look forward to seeing all of you in September for Peace Day. Boy, we could be here all day, but I guess we do have to say goodbye at some point. Thank you for being here. Peace. We'll see you in September.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Our love to all.
So here we are back live together. Thank you so much for being here with us for this Countdown to Peace Day tonight. And let's think about these 100 days leading up to Peace Day, that we can take every day, as we've been talking about all day today, really making every day Peace Day. That is our goal. Fumi, it's been a delight to be here with you tonight, and with all of you who have been staying with us. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, Fumi, your mic is off.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Jennifer, for making a presentation this evening again to remind us of the International Day of Peace coming up, and that beautiful, tapestry of song and prayers and people's spoken words. It's talking about peace and bringing us into the spirit of unity, which this program is about. It's part of the World Unity Week. And today is our first opening day. So please, I know, Jennifer, you'll be involved in some other programs throughout the week. So please, all of you, join us in World Unity Week, and especially check our programs on the May Peace Prevail on Earth room. You can go to worldunityweek.org to get the schedule and information. So thank you again, everyone, and we hope to see you in the next few days during World Unity Week. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night. Thank you so
Night.
much.
Good night.